What if I just don't want to do a video this week? Okay, we'll do one. Also, see a doctor, man. Whatever sounds are coming out of you, those are not normal. Never mind. You do you. Welcome to A Tough Act to Follow. I'm Preston, aka the Ploominator, and I will be your chimpanzee leader here to teach you the ways of the greatest performers from across the Hollywood forest. And before I get started, I just want to make sure that everyone is getting the full experience of the Ploomination, so be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And check out my Patreon for even more content. Links below. I've been working on this video for a while now. I mean, not actually, because that would have been way too much time, but I have been putting a lot of thought into how to talk about the fast-evolving world of motion capture within movies. It's such a game-changing innovation, because it's not only allowing actors to bring their talents to a variety of creatures, but also allowing the world of animation to blossom in new and hyper-realistic ways. And none of this would be possible if not for the work of Andy Serkis. And now, he wasn't necessarily the first person to do this, but he was the performer who brought the art form to the forefront and now is almost synonymous with the whole performance capture form. You can't mention motion capture without Andy Serkis entering the conversation, because Andy is the pioneer who championed a new system of performance forward and ultimately changed the way we make movies. And that alone has earned him the title of A Tough Act to Follow. So obviously we have to begin with motion capture because I know that's what you all came here for. Andy has done a lot of work in the motion capture field and it's allowed him to really excel. But what made him such a titan of that medium is that he's incredibly physical. He is so physically precise that he really comes through in the characters. And this precision is entirely necessary because without it, the characters will look sloppy or not fully formed. And this precision isn't just in his body, it's in his face as well. The technology has come such a long way that now it's totally captivating to watch a computer-generated performance because it's almost as if it were the real person's face right in front of you. And this ability to manipulate the facial features down to the smallest details mean that those features translate and it completely allows an actor like Andy to shine, even when buried behind a wall of digital masks. But to really understand Andy's talent, you have to strip away the CGI to see that Andy is in fact just a damn good actor who knows what he's doing. He's got this care that he gives to his roles. He is completely patient and curious in everything, and that curiosity really helps foster connections between his characters and the other characters on screen. He wants to know who the other characters are, and that helps him build his own character up even further because he's invested in the work that everyone is doing, not just himself.
No.
The Greek word for death is thanatos. I'm a thanatologist.
Dr. Death.
Sometimes I can help people if they're afraid of dying.
I'm not afraid.
Oh, excellent.
And this connection is rooted in one of the most important aspects of acting: discovery. Human beings are curious by nature. We are often learning and growing through numerous situations and interactions. And what really makes Andy's performances work is just how he discovers. Discovery is a process. First, we have to find an idea, an object, or a connection. And then when those moments do occur, it's sort of this smack in the face, but it has to happen subtly. And what we see when Andy's performing is a real-time version of that, and that's a real testament to his skills.
To give you this.
Thank you.
And he's able to use this ability to connect and discover because he knows how to shift his tactics. Often Andy's characters have very clear intentions, and those intentions rarely change during the course of the movie. But what does shift is how he goes about achieving his goals. This is where tactics play a huge role in character development, because a man just looking to intimidate can be very one-note if it's all pushed and aggressive. But by using a shift in tactics, it throws off his scene partners and then lets that intimidating moment land even better.
They're weapons.
Weapons?
Makes my arm cannon look like a leaf blower.
That's a nice fairy tale, but Wakanda is a third world country, and you stole all their vibranium.
I stole all of it. I took a tiny piece of it. They have a mountain full of it. They've been mining it for thousands of years, and they still haven't scratched the surface.
And this is helped by the fact that Andy just remains unpredictable. He's never settling for the easy path through the character. You can take someone like Claw from Black Panther, who is on paper a hardened badass with tons of experience working as a mercenary, but then you throw in this twist and make him a bit of a goofy wild card, and that helps the character be more than just a one-note throwaway character. Now he's got a real personality, and it really allows him to come across as this chaotic mercenary rather than just the bland generic bad guy we've seen time and time again. And it also elevates Claw from a background character to one of the most fun characters in a movie, rather than just being someone that we forget.
Step back, please, Jen. Step back, please.
Hey, come here. Come here, come here. It's okay. You can go, but just don't tell anyone, all right?
Bro, why you ain't just shoot him right here?
Because it's better to leave the crime scene more spread out.
Makes us look like amateurs.
And now that we've established the acting roots that Andy uses, we get to really dive into why we know his work. Because you take all of this, and then you place a motion capture skin on top of it, and suddenly you have an actor who just can't be ignored. Because he's anyone and everyone. He's now able to play characters who look nothing like him, and that technological makeup changes the game. Andy's talents push him forward from just another character actor into the most unexpected of leading men.
Don't, Caesar, no! No.
Said no guns.
But again, this motion capture doesn't take away from his talents as an actor. He's still doing the work, and it's making major adjustments to the role to fit the needs of the character. The biggest adjustment to Caesar is how he uses his vocal talents to find this rhythm to the speech that comes across almost stunted and awkward, as if speaking isn't natural for him. It's this incredible detail that allows the character to grow even further and brings a really thoughtful humanity to this talking ape.
Brother, save. No. Not human. Cobra.
Andy's voice is a weapon, possibly his best one. While normally very low and resonant, it can be altered to create a very different character. And then he adds the physicality to match that voice. All this comes together, and the result is, well, it's iconic. The characters that Andy creates become so much more than him, but he still keeps them completely developed and doesn't let the transformation remove the purposeful choices that he's made regarding what he wants and how he's going to get it.
We'll be nice to them if they be nice to us. Takers of us. We swear to do what you want. We swear.
There's no promise you can make that I can trust.
We swear to serve the master of the precious.
And then you tie it all together. You take a character who's barely human, moving in and out of predictable sanity, and combining all those aspects together in one nearly perfect characterization, and watch as he takes that character just a step further, weaving more and more nuance into this character until you see that he's finding distinctions between the various sides of the role, and in doing so is making something greater than the sum of its parts.
Master looks after us now. We don't need you. What? Leave now and never come back. No. Leave now and never come back. Leave now and never come back.
And in a legacy of cinematic icons, Gollum stands out, and that's because of Andy's work. He could have been lampooned, forgotten, washed away, but because Andy did the deeply necessary work, he's allowed this character to be complex and interesting, often with the motion capture skin being the least interesting part of the character. So why do we like Andy Serkis? 1. Andy defined motion capture. As a pioneer of the technique of bringing characters to life through digital skin, Andy's work has already been marked in the history books. But what helps Andy to further stand out is how he keeps the movements purposeful and practiced to not get lost in the digital magic of creating towering apes and slithering tortured hobbits. 2. Andy discovers. Andy is an actor who is always making the characters honest in what they know and what they don't know. And this ability to discover comes in multiple forms, sometimes large, other times small. Each discovery changes the drive forward, but never does it overshadow the great character work or precise physical needs of the character that he's known for. 3. Andy has fun with tactics. Tactics are often very straightforward and can become stagnant if they aren't used well. Andy lets these tactics go in wild directions, and often that helps make the characters he plays come across as absolutely bonkers in the best ways. And it also shows that Andy doesn't take his work so seriously that he doesn't know how to have fun with it. 4. Andy alters his voice. Andy's ability to blend his voice with the character's look and feel shows how much control he has over it. Whether it's the stunted and deliberate verbiage of a talking ape or the slimy and high wails of Gollum, he knows how to use and affect his voice to receive the best result for the character each and every time. 5. Andy brings it all together. By combining physical precision, vocal affectation, tactical unpredictability, massive discovery, and computer-generated skinning of his characters, Andy creates not only complete characters, but incredibly memorable ones. The legacy of these characters continues to grow and reminds us of just how gifted Andy is as he brought them to life in the first place. Andy Serkis is a master of his craft, and he has proven that by starring in some of the biggest franchises around. Even if you haven't seen his face, you've likely watched something he's been involved with at least once. But once is never enough with great performances, so let's relive some of his greatest hits. These are my 5 essential Andy Serkis performances. 1. King Kong. Andy plays 2 characters in this remake of the classic monster movie. His work as Cook Lumpy is cartoonish and fits right into the genre of monster film. But where Lumpy is cartoonish, Kong is incredibly real. From the deep emotional looks in his eyes to the powerful physical strength of his gestures, the whole beast works, and it helps to humanize the character for a new audience. 2. Death of a Superhero. What makes this movie stand out is how subdued Andy is in his work. His calm and patient demeanor really helps to offset the seething rage of co-star Thomas Brody Sangster's Donald. This is further helped by his desire to discover and grow over the course of the movie, and it shows a humanity that endears his character with the audience. 3. Black Panther. What Andy does in his limited time on screen in this superhero epic is some of the most fun character work he's done in years. Claw is fun from start to finish while still having the menace that makes him an imposing and sinister supervillain. 4. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The second most significant trilogy that Andy has been a part of, this dystopian world would not be possible without the work Andy puts into lead ape Caesar. His animalistic nature is contrasted with his humane tenderness in a combination that is pulled together beautifully from start to finish. 5. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. But really, all of the movies based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, Andy's Gollum is an iconic creation, and the more time goes on, the more and more you get fooled by the magic. Gollum is such a fantastic performance that he often steals the best scenes of the movie from the other actors, and you never tire of his work, even though it's bordering on insanity over and over again. In a word, unforgettable. And that is why Andy Serkis is a tough act to follow. Thank you all for watching. What are some of your favorite Andy Serkis performances? Which actors do you love for pioneering new forms of performance? Who would you love to see get their day in the sun? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you do, I will make the best taters around, boiled, mashed, and stewed to your pleasure. And help me spread the love by sharing this video around. I'm sure there is someone out there you know who would just love to see it. And check out my Patreon for behind the scenes content and fun blooper reels. Also, you get a cool shout out. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And if you want to be sure not to miss a single Tough Act to Follow, one to watch, or Welcome to the Party Pal, be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and as I always say, thanks for taking the time to get Ploominated.